February. The snow melted around the school as February arrived to be replaced by cold, dreary wetness. The 1st of February. "Oh, it's so beautiful," whispered Lavender Brown. "How did she get it? They're supposed to be really hard to catch." The unicorn was so brightly white that it made the snow all around look grey. It was pawing the ground nervously with its golden hooves and throwing back its horned head. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 24, Rita Skeeter's Scoop. The 2nd of February. "Here you go," said Harry, handing Ron the fireball. Ron, an expression of ecstasy on his face, mounted the broom and zoomed off into the gathering darkness while Harry walked around the edge of the pitch watching him. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 13, Gryffindor versus Ravenclaw. The 3rd of February. You all know, of course, that Hogwarts was founded over 1,000 years ago. The precise date is uncertain by the 4 greatest witches and wizards of the age: Professor Binns, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 9, The Writing on the Wall. The 4th of February. He sprinted back to the one-eyed witch, opened her hump, heaved himself inside and slid down to meet his bag at the bottom of the stone chute. He wiped the Marauder's map blank again and set off at a run. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 14, Snape's Grudge. The 5th of February. "They run off electricity, do they?" he said knowledgeably. "Ah, yes, I can see the plugs. I collect plugs," he added to Uncle Vernon, "and batteries. My wife thinks I'm mad, but there you are." Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 4, Back to the Burrow. The 6th of February. Arthur Weasley's birthday. "Your sons flew that car to Harry's house and back last night," shouted Mrs. Weasley. "What have you got to say about that?" "Did you really?" said Mr. Weasley eagerly. "Did it go all right? I mean," he faltered, as sparks flew from Mrs. Weasley's eyes. That was very wrong, boys. Very wrong indeed." Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 3, The Burrow. The 7th of February. "Never trust anything that can think for itself if you can't see where it keeps its brain." Arthur Weasley. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 18, Dobby's Reward. The 8th of February. 3rd Regurgitating public toilet reported in Bethnal Green. Kindly investigate immediately. This is getting ridiculous. A regurgitating toilet. Anti-muggle pranksters, said Mr. Weasley, frowning. "We had 2 last week, one in Wimbledon, One in Elephant and Castle, Muggles are pulling the flush, and instead of everything disappearing, well, you can imagine. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 7, The Ministry of Magic. The 9th of February. They're working from within to bring down the Ministry of Magic, using a combination of dark magic and gum disease. Luna Lovegood, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Chapter 15, The Unbreakable Vow. The 10th of February. Raxburgh got you? Asked Luna sympathetically, peering at Harry through her enormous coloured spectacles. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Chapter 7, The Slugh Club. The 11th of February. How come people hide your stuff? He asked her, frowning. Oh, well, she shrugged. I think they think I'm a bit odd, you know. Some people call me Loony Lovegood, actually. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 38. The Second War begins. The 12th of February. Daddy Lick, one of the gnomes, actually bit me. How wonderful! Gnome saliva is enormously beneficial, said Mr. Lovegood, seizing Luna's outstretched finger and examining the bleeding puncture marks. Luna, my love, if you should feel any burgeoning talent today, perhaps an unexpected urge to sing opera or to declaim in Mermish, do not repress it. You may have been gifted by the Gurnumblies. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 8, The Wedding. The 13th of February, Luna Lovegood's birthday. Happy birthday, Luna. You're not going mad or anything. I can see them too. Can you? Said Harry desperately, turning to Luna. He could see the bat-winged horses reflected in her wide, silvery eyes. Oh yes, said Luna. I've been able to see them ever since my first day here. They've always pulled the carriages. Don't worry, you're just as sane as I am. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 10, Luna Lovegood. The 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Losing his head, Harry tried to make a run for it, but the dwarf seized him around the knees and brought him crashing to the floor. Right, he said, sitting on Harry's ankles. Here is your singing Valentine. His eyes are as green as a fresh pickled toad. His hair is as dark as a blackboard. I wish he was mine. He's really divine, the hero who conquered the Dark Lord. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. The 15th of February. You should write a book, Ron told Hermione as he cut up his potatoes, translating mad things girls do so boys can understand them. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 26, Seen and Unforeseen. The 16th of February. Sir Cadogan, did you just let a man enter Gryffindor Tower? Certainly, good lady, cried Sir Cadogan. There was a stunned silence, both inside and outside the common room. You did, said Professor McGonagall. But the password. He had him, said Sir Cadogan proudly. Had the whole week's milady read him off a little piece of paper. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 13, Gryffindor versus Ravenclaw. The 17th of February. Oh, it might have hidden powers, said Hermione enthusiastically, taking the diary and looking at it closely. If it has, it's hiding them very well, said Ron. Maybe it's shy. I don't know. Why you don't chuck it, Harry. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. The 18th of February. The pages of the diary began to blow as though caught in a high wind, stopping halfway through the month of June. Mouth hanging open, Harry saw that the little square for June the 13th seemed to have turned into a minuscule television screen. His hands trembling slightly, he raised the book and pressed his eye against the little window, and before he knew what was happening, he was tilting forwards. The window was widening. He felt his body leave his bed, and he was pitched head first through the opening in the page into a whirl of colour and shadow. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. The 19th of February. Ah, well, people can be a bit stupid about their pets, said Hagrid wisely. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 14, Snape's Grudge. The 20th of February. The first thing they saw on entering Hagrid's cabin was Buckbeak, who was stretched out on top of Hagrid's patchwork quilt, his enormous wings folded tight to his body, enjoying a large plate of dead ferrets. Averting his eyes from this unpleasant sight, Harry saw a gigantic, hairy brown suit and a very horrible yellow and orange tie hanging from the top of Hagrid's wardrobe door. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 14, Snape's Grudge. The 21st of February. Hagrid poured them tea and offered them a plate of bath buns, but they knew better than to accept. They had had too much experience with Hagrid's cooking. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 14, Snape's Grudge. The 22nd of February. The lake, which Harry had always taken for granted as just another feature of the grounds, drew his eyes whenever he was near a classroom window. A great iron-grey mass of chilly water, whose dark and icy depths were starting to seem as distant as the moon. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 26, The Second Task. The 23rd of February. Harry returned to the Gryffindor common room and pulled a table into a corner and continued to search. There was nothing in madcap magic for wacky warlocks, nothing in a guide to medieval sorcery, not one mention of underwater exploits in an anthology of 18th century charms, or in dreadful denizens of the deep, or powers you never knew you had, and what to do with them now you've wised up. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 26, The Second Task. 24th of February, Tri-Wizard Tournament, the second task. You has to eat this, sir, squeaked the elf, as he put his hand in the pocket of his shorts and drew out a ball of what looked like slimy, greyish-green rat tails. Right before you go into the lake, sir. Gillyweed. What's it do? Said Harry, staring at the gillyweed. It will make Harry Potter breathe underwater, sir. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 26, the second task. The 25th of February. They walked in silence to the door of Moody's office, where he stopped and looked up at Harry. You ever thought of a career as an Auror Potter? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 25, The Egg and the Eye. The 26th of February. Thank you, said Twycross. Now then, he waved his wand. Old-fashioned wooden hoops instantly appeared on the floor in front of every student. The important things to remember when apparating are the 3 D's, said Twycross. Destination, determination, deliberation. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Chapter 18, Birthday Surprise. The 27th of February. The school owl swooped into the great hall, carrying the post as usual, and Neville choked as a huge barn owl landed in front of him, a scarlet envelope clutched in its beak. Harry and Ron, who were sitting opposite him, recognized the letter as a Howler at once. Ron had got one from his mother the year before. Run for it, Neville, Ron advised. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 14, Snape's Grudge. 28th of February. A little way to his left, Ernie Macmillan was contemplating his hoop so hard that his face turned pink. It looked as though he was straining to lay a quaffle-sized egg. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Chapter 18, Birthday Surprise. The 29th of February. I am sorry to say that from the moment you have arrived in this class, my dear, it has been apparent that you do not have what the noble art of divination requires. Indeed, I don't remember ever meeting a student whose mind was so hopelessly mundane. There was a moment's silence. Then, fine, said Hermione suddenly, getting up and cramming Unfogging the Future back into her bag. Fine, she repeated, swinging the bag over her shoulder and almost knocking Ron off his chair. I give up. I'm leaving. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.